Okay, let me give you a little tour. There's a jackrabbit. Of the yard where I work. So, since I work at night, it's always dark. Get around this fence here. I'll start to show you. This is a place where I'm coming into right now where they fill trains up. They'll work on oil and sand cars, do whatever repairs on them they need to do. These big semis here, which I incidentally now can drive, are tanker trucks that when a train will pull into the yard, tanker will go out and fill it with fuel. This area right here is called diesel, and they have people that work in these little shacks, as you can see here, who are ones that do a variety of tasks associated with fueling locomotives. When we get past here, that's a here are some of the various tracks that we service. Over here is what we call the tower and the basement. This is where the crews assemble and do their planning and that kind of thing before they come out to drive trains, work on trains, and that kind of thing. This is usually where we pick people up. Now, I'm going to drive out down a little ways down the yard. This whole area here is called the West End. And you can see these little indicators on the side of the road. Those are switches. And those have to be changed manually in order to allow a train to go from one track to another or into one track or another. And what we do is we drive in and out of all of these trains. I'm going to cross a crossing now. The tracks you see on the left are called the hump tracks. Hump because they have a grade to them and cars can roll. And the ones on the right are called the receiving tracks. And I'm just going to drive down through here and give you a little idea of the kind of work that I do. This road that I'm driving on here is called the Middle Way. And they bring trains in here to be configured. They'll break them apart, decouple them, and couple them back together in whatever configurations are needed. When it rains here, these roads fill up with water to the point that as you drive through, my headlights will go underwater, which is kind of exciting. Now as I pass through here, ways down here, we're going from the west to the east, and this side down here that we're getting to is called the East End. A lot of water here and there. There are a number of these light towers which provide quite a bit of light, but it's always, you always have to be very aware of where trains are moving and stuff. A lot of these cars are black, which I'm showing you right there. Those are tank cars. I don't know if you can see it, but they're all black. They're hard to see at night. And especially if crews are moving tank cars, they're cutting the trains apart and doing what they call kicking the cars, meaning that they open the what they call the knuckle, which is the place where the trains couple together, the cars couple together. they open the knuckle, then they push a car and get it rolling with the locomotive, then they stop the locomotive and let the car automatically decouple and then just roll down the track by itself. And that's how they kind of sort cars. They'll roll cars down certain tracks and then put them back together again in different configurations. But it is a little bit of a treacherous place. If you're not really on your toes and you don't know where you can go, and stuff, it can be kind of a dangerous prospect working here. Okay, I'm continuing down. This area is about from west to east is about 4811. I'm in the clear. I guess about 2.5 miles, 2.5 to 3 miles. Many of these trains that come in here are at least 1.5 miles long. So there's a tanker car right there. That flashing red light on the end is called they call it a FRED, meaning flashing rear end device, and that's what indicates the end of the train, of course. And then it also plays a part in some of these long oil trains. If the train were to lose air pressure, the brakes are run by air pressure. If the train were to lose air pressure, what that FRED does is it causes the brakes on the last cars to be applied first. So if you get into an emergency situation, you have to stop a train, rather than putting all the brakes on the front where it would cause the train to buckle as it's coming to a stop, it applies the brakes from the back to the front so that it tries to allow the train to brake evenly without buckling all the cars together and causing a worse accident. Okay, now we're getting down to the east end here. You see it's quite a ways. There are several of these roads that run in between tracks. If you have any bit of claustrophobia about you, you're going to really have a hard time working here because you're always in between trains. As you can see, I've got trains on either side of me here. An example of what I might do is I might pick up a crew at the tower, bring him out to one of these trains, drop off the engineer at the locomotive, and then take the conductor with me as we go back and forth configuring the train. We might go down to the end of the train and do something, and then the middle, and then they decouple the train, and then they kick some cars down one track, and then they go in and pick up some cars from another track. It's all very quite interesting to watch. All right, now we've arrived at what's called the east end, and here again, it's just the other side of the nothing particularly significant about it, except it's just the other side of the yard. And that completes the tour. Thank you for watching.